I can start from my birth itself. When you're born with some kind of a deficit, the whole world considers you a failure because you have a deficit. So this coming out of this epilepsy was something that was an interesting thing that happened in my life. As early as 7 or 8 years old, I understood that, when you have a kind of a deficit, the society wants to malign you, ridicule you, or they want to ostracize you. I was literally kept out of various things. But then I came back strongly once I realized if I can showcase my natural ability and my skills. I am good in painting, sculpting, and mimicry. Once I started showcasing this, the society started looking at the positive side and they forgot about the other thing, which they considered negative. And that was my first success from what could be a failure, because I find a lot of people who have any kind of deficiency, I'm talking about the epileptics too, they are just, sitting in one corner like a vegetable, and then they want they want sympathy, and they say, well, nobody's helping me and I'm down and out. But I think we need empathy. And that's what the greatest teacher to fight against the odds and survive. The second thing that happened was I took up a profession in handwriting and calligraphy. I wanted to revive this. People said, you can't do a damn. It's a digital world. But persistence and perseverance really took me across to visit various parts of the world on sponsorship and also teach the British how to write properly in their own country. Well, if I'm elected as an MP, I understand that we need to also attend a lot of sessions in the Parliament. Besides which, when I'm here in Bangalore, I will visit my constituencies regularly. That is, maybe this Bangalore South has got various constituencies. Once a month at least I need to visit each constituency, like Vijayanagar or Jayanagar or BTM layout. And I also intend to spend 2 hours a day to meet the public, to listen to their grievances. And set up a e-office where 24 hours they can access me and leave messages, and we could have people looking into that and then prioritizing all those issues. We could also set up a consumer redressal forum, the citizens redressal forum, so that we understand what the problems are or what are the new problems that are surfacing, so that I can represent and lobby it in the Parliament and bring in effective solutions. And also, mixing with people, meeting them and getting a first-hand information. That's what, as I said, it happens. And making these things public, like the corporate, I'd like to do it once in 3 months. A quarterly report may be published. I think quarterly report will be excellent if it is also done on the e-governance, and everybody can take a look at it and assess what was promised, how much has been done. If certain things have not been done, reasons why it was not being done, so we need to justify. Now, I would plan to do that so that I am accountable. Well, I could even tell you, coming from a field of art, I use that art. I think we need to be accountable, responsible, and we need to have transparency. We come into a world called the multi-world when we have done some cultural studies. So, corruption has come because of certain people wanting to have more than what they have, or it is more of greed that brought in corruption. And later, maybe for some of them, I feel, without money or without some kind of a money that they have defined, they feel a little insecure. So they want to amass more and more. So that's how I think corruption has actually crept into our society. Well, society has also very well defined it as the twin dangers eating into the social fabric. And terrorism, again, I feel is because a group has a particular ideology, or we all have different belief systems. When a group subscribes to a belief system, and when that belief system is questioned, or when they feel that belief system is going to be attacked, they form a group and they want to fight for it. And that's how I think terrorism has also come in. And the only way we can try and remove all this is bring in the right kind of awareness amongst people. Maybe self-awareness is important. And if there are people who know what their natural abilities or innate abilities are, and they start understanding what life is in its true sense, develop a holistic understanding and become, well informed, then the belief systems are also understood properly. Holistic approach And a broad-minded approach will remove corruption, will remove terrorism. Maybe we should have a lot of programs. I think the root cause for everything is people have lack of awareness, and then they also lack proper understanding of the right perception. So education in its true sense, when applied, I think corruption and terrorism can be removed. Well, as I said earlier, art. It's an art of doing it.
Okay.
First of all, starting from the MP who receives the fund, accountability has to be established down the line. Each and every person should feel that I am accountable to the money which has been given to certain projects.
Okay.
And with accountability, I need to feel happy. I am responsible in the development of other people. They must take pride in saying, through me, a lot of people are going to be helped. Their lives are going to be enhanced. Therefore, I am responsible to this. Then automatically transparency will come in and say, look, so much money came in and here exactly it went, and it can be given to the people who have to receive it, or the projects which need that money, and the whole money can be transferred very clearly. But now I feel that accountability, responsibility and transparency has some missing links. Now if we can tie that up and put it in order, I think everything can go on very nicely. And as you asked the earlier question, every quarter, if we are able to put up, this is what we have done, this is the money we received, and if the balance sheets, the receipts and payments are clear, I think everybody would be able to appreciate what's happening. Well, having been into training, whenever we have come across quite a lot of young graduates, we found that they are literate and numerate, but not truly educated. Therefore, the question of employability comes up. Many are qualified but not employable. So we need to revamp the education system, where the education system would enable the individual to identify their natural abilities, their innate strengths, and according to their natural abilities and strengths, choose an occupation which could become a vocation and then a profession too. And they know their strengths and weaknesses, so they know what are the limitations, they know what they could do. And once they understand that, they also would be satisfied with their results. And again, corruption need not come in because they don't feel insecure, they're happy with what they're doing. And I understand that in the state of Karnataka, we have 43 lakh qualified graduates not employed. It's very sad. So from just mugging up and answering questions in the exams, referring to those scanners as they call today in the colleges, and just getting those marks on the marks card, I don't think will give them employment. Once they enhance their natural abilities, strengths, and get those skill sets required to survive in the environment or the business environment, then they can really find their jobs. If there are no jobs available for certain reason, like the meltdown now, maybe somebody could look at entrepreneurial skills to survive decently in this recession, or even if there is no recession, they can survive decently. Okay. As far as model policing is concerned,
yes.
Well, it's a cultural issue. From what I understand, the whole world has got different kind of cultures in different parts. To understand culture, I believe one has to study anthropology, sociology and psychology. Even if you take the city of Bangalore, the culture of Chamarajpet is different from Coxtown. What's right in one locality may not be accepted in another locality. So we need to have that broad-minded outlook and say, well, people formed certain belief systems based on certain do's and don'ts in a particular locality or a geographical location. That's based on their living conditions, environment, etc. So they have certain belief systems. So let's try and understand it from the viewpoint of anthropology and sociology and say we respect their culture too. Who are we to do moral policing? We have to understand what morals are. Set of rules and regulations, somebody says. But how this set of rules and regulations came into being has to be understood. Now, what's right in one place is not right in another place, as I mentioned. We have to understand that and say we respect each other's culture. We respect each other's views, but then let us not clash with that. Cross-cultural misunderstanding is happening. And if you even look at ethics, if we have to indulge in moral policing, I don't feel it's right, because maybe I have certain views, but somebody else has different views. I can't impose my views on them. If they agree, good. If they don't agree, leave them alone. I don't think we should be using moral policing. We have no right to do that, and we should appreciate each other's culture. When a person indulges in certain activities, if those activities are going to harm that person, we can tell them, please don't do that. But then even if they don't listen to the person who's telling them not to do that, it only harms one individual. But if the person is indulging in certain activities which are going to affect a large number of people, then it's going to affect the society. Therefore, if there are issues which are not going to affect the large number of people, and if the individuals have the freedom to do whatever they want, and if it's going to affect them, I don't think we have any right to go and interfere in their lives. Because I understand freedom as any individual is free to do any kind of an activity as long as we do not curb another individual's freedom. I think that's where the freedom ends. So moral policing may be something which people have indulged in recent times without having a holistic understanding of culture. I think they need to improve upon their intellect, and they will not trouble the others. First of all, let us all try to become informed, and let us try to improve our knowledge so that we get that, as I've been repeating, holistic understanding of things. Let us also understand that we have to discharge our duties which has been given by the Constitution of India. We have our rights, but then many times we are only speaking out for our rights. But how many times have we questioned ourselves? How much have we tried to follow or discharge those duties? I'd like to say, when I went for the solid waste management, people complained that Bangalore Mahanagarpalike has not done anything. So I wanted to educate them. They have only 6,000 Paura Karmikas, 230 lorries. Now, if we can keep our home clean, we can keep our surroundings clean, we are helping the system work better, but we can't expect the corporation to do everything. Therefore, understand our rights. Where required, we should ask for the rights. But when we understand our duties, if we have done our duty, I think charity begins at home, somebody said, and then it can spread to the society, and then it can spread to the locality, and then the whole constitution, and then it can spread to the larger levels. So that's the message. Let's do our bit before we blame the others.